Good morning. 2-76 Disassembly of the carriage return shaft. Good morning. Today we are working on 2-76 disassembly of the carriage return shaft. There are two pins on this shaft. One is right here, you can see it, and there is another one right here. And I'm not very good at tapping out pins, so when it gets to that step, those will remain on and this shaft will be cleaned up in kind of its complete form. So I'll get a little rust off or whatever. I'm not going to mess with this shaft too much. 1. Remove the carriage feed clutch lever. 2. Mark the two teeth on the carriage return driven gear of the carriage return safety clutch that engage the last tooth on the carriage return driven gear. 3. Remove the two machine screws, flat washers, lock washers, and bearing retainer. Remove the two machine screws and lock washers that hold the bearing cap to the teletypewriter. Remove the bearing cap. Remove the two machine screws and lock washers that hold the tile bearing cap to the teletypewriter. Remove the bearing cap. 6. Remove the self-locking hexagonal nut flat washer and ball bearing from the carriage return shaft. 7. Lift the front of the carriage return shaft slightly and slide the oil light bearing toward the tile rear of the shaft far enough to clear the bearing seat of the teletypewriter. This is the oil light bearing, and they want it to slide it. 8. Loosen the machine screws that hold the carriage return clutch actuating lever to the carriage return clutch lever. Tilt the carriage return shaft far enough forward to clear the carriage return clutch lever and pivot the lever so that it is parallel with the carriage return shaft. Pull the carriage return shaft upward and forward to remove it from the teletypewriter. That is where I'm going to stop this video because this cam is out. They talk about removing this and the decelerating cam, and I'm just not going to disassemble this thing. It's I think it would be too much of a pain to get back together. Plus I think like there's a little bit of rust in here that can easily be cleaned up without a lot of without too much work. So I'm going to clean it up as one shaft and put it back in. Thanks for watching. Good night.